Today I'll be showing you how to create custom trading cards like baseball cards in Canva. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go over in your home page and go to custom size. What we want to do is change the pixels to inches, and you want to do 2.5 by 3.5 and create a new design. Now, I looked that up. That's a standard baseball card size. So if you want any other kind of size, then you can go ahead and put those dimensions in. But that's the standard size for one. Now we want to do our base setup. So what we're going to do is head over to Elements, and I am going to grab a frame. You can do a square, a rounded one, it doesn't matter. We're just going to grab one. And then you're going to align it where you want it on here. So it depends how much white you want showing where and how. So this one's going to go not all the way quite down and there. So if you want it sharp, you can do no corner rounding. If you want it kind of sharp, if you want it kind of rounded, you can round it to how rounded you want it. So after you got that, we're going to sit there and we're going to make sure that it's centered, get our nice little purple line there, and then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to line it back over top of the original one. I am going to shrink this down about a third of the way, and then I'm going to just bring it in some. And this is going to be a personal preference. You might want it taller, you might want it fatter, wider, just whatever you want. And then when you put a picture in there, you can also adjust it up and down to match what you need for your picture. So with this one right here, I am going to put an outline on it. Oh, I don't want the curve. I want the stroke effect right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a stroke on it, and you make it as big as you want. And I'm going to turn mine white. And you can change it to any color you want. And that is your frames right there. We're going to make sure that's got that little line there. And then what I'm going to go back into Elements. I'm going to go down to, or up to, and I'm going to grab a shape. I'm going to change the color because once I start playing with that green, it mixes in together. So let's get a blue one. And what I'm going to do with this one is go down to my bottom. Now I kind of want the same amount of space that I have at the top. So I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to stretch it out like so. And then I'm going to bring it down like so here. And I want that sharper. So I'm going to take my corner rounder and cut that down so it's a little bit sharper like this. Now I'm going to take my big frame that's in the back. See, I made it too short. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit further. I want mine just a little bit past half of that. So I want it to be about around there. I'm going to also take this solid colored square here, and I'm going to put a little bit of border around that. And I'm just going to make a hair, and I'm going to leave it black. Okay, now I have my setup. So you have your base of your card. You can use this to make different cards all the time. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and get my pictures. So we're going to do baseball. I'm going to use this picture here. I'm going to put it in the back. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go into Edit. I'm going to go into Adjust, and I'm going to turn that brightness down. Now this picture I'm using already has some natural blur in it, but if you're not using one with blur, I blur it. So I'm going to go into Blur, Whole Image, and I usually turn it up to about 50. And there we go. I have the blur. Then I'm going to take that image again and I'm going to put it in the center. And if you need to, you can move it around, make it bigger, do whatever you want for that image in there. I just like this image because of these right here. So I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to grab my guy. So what I want to do is hold my control key down because he is going to stick to my frames. I'm going to use the background remover. And then I'm going to size him. I'm going to hold my control key down while I'm moving him over these frames so he doesn't try to grab. And I'm going to put him where I want him inside of this. I'm going to duplicate him and I'm going to put one off to the side for the second because I want this to be a pop out. And see, the edge of that picture is cut off, so I really don't want that in here. So I'm going to just grab this and put it to the end. Now you can leave it just like that if you want to, but I'm going to do a pop out. So I'm going to put that there so I can grab this one. And I am going to line it up as best as possible over the other one. I am going to crop it in. And I just want the tip of that baseball glove to be hanging out. So I'm just going to go where that is right there and make sure that my two are aligned together. And when that looks good, We're good there. And I'm going to just pull that in just because. Now, if you want to, you can take your sides in a little bit more and make this more a little this. We can round this a little bit more if we want to. Let's see. Let's go a little bit more roundy with this one. Let's go here. Let's do that here and then take this one. Let's make sure we grab that. Let's go in our layers tab. I'm going to take the interior one. I think I'm going to round that a little bit more. We're doing some like live action design in here. Okay, so now that I have him, what I want to do is make sure my whole image of him is behind here. So if he's like got whole legs or something, make sure you crop it all the way till he goes to his body parts, her body parts, whoever's body parts go behind here. So I'm going to grab him and I'm going to move him behind my banner box right here. And now we have that set up. Now let's change the color of our banner box. So I'm going to go and get our color. I'm going to try the color picker with his hat. I don't like that color. Ugh. So I'm just going to manipulate it around until I find a color that I do like. I like that, but a little bit darker. Perfect. I like that. I think that looks good. Now I have that in play. What I want to do is start with my text. So I'm going to go and get a text box, go add a heading. I'm going to put his name, John Smith. I'm going to go and I'm going to use this yearbook solid. I am going to double click. Come on, do the whole thing. I hate when it doesn't do the whole thing. Okay, double click and I'm going to change that to black. And now I am going to move it down here. Well, let me check this box at the minute. Let's take a second to check this box, make sure it's centered. And then we're going to do this and we're going to put him here. Make sure that is centered. Get my little line there. There's my line. There we go. And there we go. So what I want to do now is I want to duplicate this. I am going to say picture. I'm going to change the color to white. White. So a lot of uniforms have white pants. So what I want to do here, just in case it's too white, you can either use another color or you can go into effects and you can put an outline on it. So I'll just put a black outline on it and it's going to be like very small just so you can kind of see it. And then you can put it in the center. You can put it over here to the side, put it down a little bit. Let's try this one on the side. Now I want to do my name for my team, and we're going to go with Bulldogs. I need 2 of these, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to change one to the color of this down here, our banner. And then I'm going to go on effects on this one, and I'm going to go put background. I'm going to change that to white. And then I am going to work the spread. I'm going to bring the spread in more to where I like it. And you can change the roundness on it. I'm going to make it a little more boxy. Okay, now I like that. And then I'm going to take this Bulldogs. I'm going to sit there and take layer. Bring to front. It should, is it in front already? It is not in front. That is just a fib. Layer in front. Okay, I'm going to go to effects with this one, and I'm going to do hollow. And I'm going to put it over top like this. I'm going to go back into position. I'm going to hit my control key. The hollow one is already highlighted. With the control key, hit the background one. I'm going to group them together. I'm going to go back into effects, and I'm going to go to curve. And now I'm going to curve it as much as I want. Now, you might want to like that, or if you don't want the curve to it, you might want to do something like this, where you take the whole thing and kind of put it here. I think I'm going to let's go back. I'm going to do the curve. Oh no, they're not together. Oh yeah, they are together. Hold on. Always click it before you do it. Click it. And then I'm going to get that curve. here. And because I'm using the curve, I'm going to put my picture back here. But you can do them wherever you want to. You can do a little one here. Maybe do this up here. You can rearrange this any way you want to. But I'm just kind of giving you the base part. We're like getting some ideas going as we do it. So I'm going to take my John Smith again. I am going to duplicate that. I'm going to pick him a number. He's going to be shift number 1, 5. I am going to change that to the color right here. No, I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to change it to white, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay, we're going to try to change it to white. White. All right, and then what I want to do, I'm going to go into effects. I'm going to go into splice and see how that splice is. I want the white. I want to do my little gray piece right here. I want to do that, the color here. So I'm going to take that color and do that here. And I'm going to make this number 15. I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to put 20, 25. And then what else you can do is take his name. I'm going to duplicate that again. We can go over here. I like using Amsterdam. There's 1, 2, I think there's 4 of them. And I'm going to pick one that kind of looks like guyish looking. So, and then I'm going to change that to white. I'm going to slim it down. And then you can do something like a signature. And if you want to do something where it's going to hang over white or it's really light, you can either use a different color. Or what you can do also is go into effects, go to outline, turn this to black, and just give it a slim bit of an outline over it. So say like his name's going over here, you can still see that part of the J. But we'll just put that right there. And voila, there is your baseball card. Now, I'm going to fix this little piece here. I can see just a little bit of the edge right there on that one. I just want to fix that. Getting a little bit nitpicky here. There we go. So now we want to do a back. So what you can do for the back is we're going to duplicate this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little piece of this off. I'm going to take him. I'm going to hold my control key so he doesn't latch on anything. And I'm going to move him like right here. I'm going to take the transparency down, 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 down. And then I'm just going to cut him to the edge. That way he's kind of looking in there a little bit. Now I can take this out here. I'm going to move my bulldogs all the way up here. Like so. Take my 15, move it here. Now you could put the school name, take the picture off and all this stuff if you don't want to, and maybe put the school name down here or something like that. That's up to you how you want to design it. And then what I did on another one, let me show you. I'll go into projects. We'll go here in this one, and I did this. So what I did was I just put it like a football because this was the back of a football card. I just put the name here, games, and the game schedule. I looked up baseball cards and they, you do stats. Or like for more younger kids, they did their age, school, how much they weighed, how tall they were, that kind of stuff, just to kind of know at that age, where they were at in life. But that's kind of stuff you can stick on that, and that's kind of what you can do for the back. So now, once we have our cards done, I'm going to go back to the front card. We're good with our front card. I'm going to file, download. We are going to just do page 1. We're going to get that downloaded. And what we're going to do is take this last page, and we're going to go in here. I'm going to resize the page. So I'm going to resize it to a flyer portrait. So let's go and resize that to a flyer portrait. Okay, and I'm going to take all this off. We're not using this. I'm going to get this out of the way. And what I want to do now is make my sheet. Now, I experimented with the sheets. I would advise you to go look up people who do the Uno cards to do the front and back printing. I had a slight bit where it was a slight bit off doing this. And I think it was because I used a PNG. They said use PDF print. Not sure. I would do a test run. And the only printer paper I had was regular print paper. So I would test before I used anything expensive or anything like that with some cheap stuff. So we're just going to go and grab us a frame. I'm going to go into position. I'm going to go into arrange, and I'm going to change my width to 2.5, enter, and my height into 3.5, or whatever the dimensions of the cards you were making. You want it exactly as the same size as you did over here. You want it over here. So make sure that it's 2.5 by 3.5 because that's what we did. So when I printed mine out to test to see what they would look like and try to do double-sided, um, personally, I would use these for like the front part. I would put it on magnet paper and um, create magnets out of it to hand to relatives. But that's just how I would do. If you hear something weird, it's my dog squeaking. So I got 9 on a sheet. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to highlight those, tidy up. They are tidied up pretty well. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate them, make sure they're lined up. Duplicate and make sure they're lined up. And if they're lined up correctly, we'll look. I'm going to highlight all of them and make sure you get that cross right there. And that's how you're going to do for your baseball card thing. And then all you're going to do, we uploaded that one, right? So let's upload that into here. We have our baseball card. And now we can just plop it in a frame. When I printed it, I also did this as a gray so I could see because I was hand cutting. So I did this as a gray. And I think if you take it into Cricut, or even if you're going to do a transparent background with these, probably just doing a gray because the outer part of this is white would probably be a good idea. So now I'm going to go into my uploads and I'm going to grab my fronts. I have a front here and a front here. And then we can just do that and do my fronts like so. And as you can see, they fit perfectly in those frames like that. And then when you want to do the backs, you're just going to duplicate the page. And I only have one back uploaded in here, so everything's going to get the same back. But I think this is all the same back, even though there's 2 images of a back right here. But if you hear squeaking, it's my dog. She thinks it's time for her treat, and she's got another hour to go. She's sadly mistaken. And then I have my backs. And like I said, watch some other like the Uno card people that print both sides to maybe get better tips on that. But PDF print is what I heard that does the best of aligning it when you're going through a printer. Like I said, I don't have the right paper for that, so if I did, I would have printed it off and tested this even more. But that's how you do that. I am Michelle. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.